Hey, let's talk about the most important part of programming, variables. You've probably heard about variables before. If you haven't, sometimes they're called attributes. Either way, they are really important but really easy to understand. Think of a variable as a box you can put something into. You can only put one thing into this box, but you can have as many boxes as you like with as many different things in them. So what can we put in these boxes? Well, for example, we can put numbers, characters, true or false variables, coordinates, and more variable and more. Variables are used to represent concepts and quantities in the real world. For instance, if we were talking about making a game, we could have a variable called score. Score would be a number, and every time a player scores, the number would go up. We would change the variable with the code when needed. We could also have another variable called player's name. This would be the name of the player when they enter it when they first play the game. We could then print the player's name and then the score onto the screen. I know this seems like a lot of information all at once, but if you take a look at the bigger picture, this problem might become easier to understand. When you have a problem with anything, just take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Sometimes the problem is a lot easier than you think it is. But let's get back to variables. As we've discussed, variables are containers for concepts and quantities. We can change these quantities with programming whenever we want. The user can change them or we can change them with inputs, such as time, variables, such as time. Variables happen in almost any kind of programming. Variables happened in almost every kind of programming language in order to use a variable. Two things must generally happen. One, the variable must be declared, and this is usually at the top of the page when you're programming. Go ahead and write that down. If you haven't opened up a text editor, now would be a good time to do it. See, it's just that easy. Make sure you put a semicolon at the end. Most programming languages require this. Later in the program, you can go ahead and change the code to whatever you want. You can do some math that kind of looks like this. Go ahead, write this one down as well. You can actually make variables equal to another number or another variable, and so on. Well, this was the end of today's tutorial. If you want to see another one, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Tell me how you thought of this in the comments. Tell me if it teached you anything, and I'll see you guys in the next one.